Hello, everyone. I am Kealah, the boss babe.
And I'm girl boss Lena.
And I'm Bond Girl Jessica. And today is
Whine
Wind
Down
Down
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
and it's my turn. So I have
Your
here we go
turn, your
again.
turn, your turn, your
Is that
turn.
black
Your
or is it
little
white?
booties.
That's
Is it
interesting.
white?
It totally made her cup invisible. It's white with black teeth with black
Yeah,
spots, right?
Yeah.
the teeth you can still see, but
Right.
that's
But it totally blended in the teeth. They look like abstract clouds.
The most
that's
important part, the teats.
The teeth of it
yeah.
all. It's all about the teeth. It's all about
So
the
let's
teeth.
see.
All about them teats, no treble.
Really? Oh my God.
It's all
Oh,
about them teats, about the teats. teats.
this is an interesting one.
Uh-oh,
Uh-oh.
what we got?
Uh-oh. If it's making Jessica laugh, then
I
you
know.
already know.
It's all bad.
If you could swap lives with any fictional character, who would you choose and why?
Ooh, a fictional character.
Fictional characters.
Hmm. Hmm. Swap lives with fictional character.
And it can be like sitcom, cartoon, whatever. It can even be a
Oh.
book if you want it to be a book. As
Oh, so
long as they're
any
not a real
character at
person.
all.
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know. That opens up a world of possibilities.
I'm like, the people I read about, I don't know if I want to swap lives with them.
Do you read more like non-fictional stuff?
I read a little bit of everything. Yeah,
Mm.
fiction, nonfiction. Um, but even like the fiction ones, I'm like, I like my life better. I like to read stuff with a little bit of drama. I don't want that kind of drama.
Now, I can say maybe not be them, but where they're at. Like I'm stuck on I love watching period pieces.
Mm,
I wouldn't want to live in that time because they die way too quickly and
yes,
way
they
too
do.
gruesomely
And they
and
can't brush their teeth right.
way too early. They stink. Their teeth are
I'm not
bad.
brushing my teeth with
Hygiene, like the whole big
charcoal and
issue.
sticks.
But the time period, like I like the dress,
Okay, so
Okay.
if you like that,
right?
I have. There's this show. It was done on the BBC, and it was based on Pride and Prejudice. I don't know if you ever seen it, but the girl got to swap lives with oh God, the Bennett girl, Elizabeth. Isn't Elizabeth
Why does this sound
of Pride
vaguely
and Prejudice?
familiar? Why was she a little black girl?
No, she was white.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm
she
like,
actually got to swap places with Elizabeth. Elizabeth came to London, like our time, and she went to Elizabeth's time.
oh,
It's Elizabeth, right? Is the Pride and Prejudice girl the lead character? I mean, girl, now I'm about to look at that. Hold on.
I don't know.
Fact check.
Elizabeth.
But I do like I tend to watch like medieval stuff, like a lot of Viking kind of like berserker
Yeah,
type,
Elizabeth Bennett.
let's go ransack and pillage and plunder type stuff. Um I do tend to watch a lot of like maybe I want to be British, you know what I mean? I watch a lot of like that Downton Abbey type stuff, but I've never watched
Yes.
Bridgerton. In all the tea that I do, I've never watched Bridgerton. So if you can imagine that one. It's Lena S with It's Tea Time by What's Poppin' USA, coming to you to remind you about our tea party. But I like watching stuff where the costumes are just like over the top. So I really liked like Game of Thrones because I like seeing like the different costumes and the different periods and stuff. But like I said, I wouldn't want to live those times and die of the plague and all that kind of like it's just
Yes.
but it interests me. It interests me. Like I like the dress and the style and the music of like the 1920s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s, but that doesn't mean I want to really live at that time and get beat. You know what I mean? Pick cotton. You know what I mean? I just like the style of the dress and the music and the, but yeah, suits and flapper fringes and, stuff, petticoats and stuff. But
Petticoat Junction. Sorry.
yes,
I watched that
all of
the
that
other
kind
day.
Um, but yes, it was a little TV miniseries that came out, and the girl, Elizabeth Bennet, swapped places with the girl who's living in London. She was reading Pride and Prejudice, and then they wound up switching places. And the girl had a hard time because she was trying to smoke her cigarettes and do all
of.
the. It was such a good show. I'll have to look for the name later and I'll tell you so you can watch it. It was really good.
So
And then
maybe
Elizabeth,
like, oh my God, I'm
I
still
don't know.
thinking. No, go ahead. I'm still thinking. I'm like, who would I be though?
And the
Like, who
girl
would
wound up with Mr. Darcy instead of Elizabeth.
So would you go back to that time then?
No,
Or
I'd
would
probably be
you?
hung. What are you talking about? I'm not going back
Okay.
there.
No, I mean, not, I mean, do you
If
like
we
that
could
time
get rid
period? Or
of
is that,
slavery in those
Let's
times.
assume there's no consequences of that time.
of race or
So,
anything?
right.
Okay.
So if you could swap and you just be a white woman, because you would totally be that character. So if you were a white woman in Britain or wherever she at, would you still
Yeah,
be her?
okay. Well, maybe. Yeah, I might switch times with that. I mean, that would be totally fun.
Yeah,
I
I
just,
need to be an
I wouldn't want to get
aristocrat.
tarred and feathered.
I know I need to be an aristocrat. I need to be at court. I need to be having the whole bustle and trestle and people dressing
And
me. And
I would need to have lots of money.
oh, well, that's what being at court in the county.
I
Yeah, I
know.
live
That's what I'm just
like,
saying, though.
yeah.
That was your statement. My statement is I would like to have lots of money. I'm not going to be
Oh,
broke.
oh, 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 oh. In general.
I'm not. Well, no, I'm saying if I went back to that time period because I'm not fit
Oh,
to be
yeah.
broke back then. Mm-mm.
Oh, God. I don't want to be a peasant or a serf or like, yeah.
No,
No,
I need
no.
money
Yes, definitely.
and
What
land.
about you, Jess? I'm curious to hear this one. What about you?
Uh, well, the first show that came to mind was Abbott Elementary. I would be Janine. I would swap lives with Janine. It's
Is that the
still based,
principal? The black lady?
the short one. Yeah,
I've
like
never watched it.
it's a
It's
save the children
goofy. It's
thing, but
hella
it's
silly.
funny. Yeah, it's really funny. I liked
It's
it.
silly. Yeah.
Or I would
Um,
be
yeah.
or I would be for excitement.
Uh,
I'd be Issa on Insecure because she was always doing stuff.
oh,
So
yeah.
I
She was
would
always
be
getting into some stuff. Yeah.
yeah. So she's still safe, but she's a little edgier than Janine. So yeah, I'd be one of those.
Well, Issa was getting it in on Insecure. So are
Oh,
you
I
trying to
forgot. I
tell
don't
us
want to do all
something?
that. That was a lot, but despite that part, everything else,
Oh, okay.
I don't need to be all in the streets of California.
You don't need to be outside like that.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I have one.
Oh,
I would swap places
with Lenny
with
Kravitz's wife.
no, because I wouldn't want to share him on the road. Now, maybe Idris Elba's wife. It's my
Oh
other
Lord.
runner-up. But no, what I was gonna say is, can we do movies? Because
Yeah,
literally, like, I would want to be swap places with Daryl Hannah and Splash because I would love to be a mermaid.
that's a thought.
What?
That's
She
a
went back to
thought.
the ocean. I was gonna say Ariel, but she didn't make that many bright decisions. Like, who barters with a sea witch? Like, what were you thinking?
She
That
wasn't
was
really
stupid.
that
Like,
learned.
she was just gonna give you what you wanted. You're too late. Now, Ursula had a good part. She was hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
I still wouldn't. Jetsam,
Well,
Jetsam.
but that makes me curious now. So it's still part of the question, I guess. But if you could be any Disney princess, who would you be?
oh,
I mean, I'd be Ariel, honestly,
okay.
because I still would want to be a mermaid. So,
I got to be at the beach. I'm thinking like a Moana.
I want to be Mulan.
Oh, I was thinking,
Mulan.
but the runner-up is Mulan because you got to be a badass. So
Mulan's hilarious.
she was the runner-up as a
Matchmaker,
badass.
hear
Yeah.
my
Nobody
plea.
want to be
Help me not to
who is
make a
that?
man
Belle?
love me.
Huh?
Don't nobody want to be Belle?
No.
No.
Ain't nobody trying to fool no beast. We
Oh,
do
my
that in
runner-up
real
would
life.
be
Or
Jasmine.
that
I
stinky
would be
Gaston.
Jasmine.
Gaston. You know what? First of all, Gaston was way out of pocket. And Belle needed to be firm and stand 10 toes
No one hits like Gaston. No one bites like Gaston.
Oh, Lord.
In a fight,
down. Ain't
nobody
nobody
bites
feeling
like
Gaston.
Gaston.
I'm gonna be honest. I haven't watched that many Disney movies, but I know the characters. I read the books, but I didn't watch the movies. I
Hmm.
haven't seen what is that? Beauty and the Beast.
I love Beauty and the Beast. It's actually
But
one of
I
my
would buy
favorites.
but my runner up would probably be Jasmine. I'd be Mulan or Jasmine from Aladdin.
Mm.
I do like
Prince
I because she's
Ali,
I haven't seen that one either.
Baba.
so I do like that. And that magic rug is really kind of on point. I do like
Y'all
that
wouldn't want
too.
to be a mermaid though?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there's just so many different.
Okay. So
Maybe.
I wanted to be a mermaid so bad. You know that scene in Splash where she had put salt in her bathwater? Yeah, I tried that when I was a kid. I
You
was
should
so sad when no fins came.
you should get one of those tails. You know they can make them for grown.
Well, I actually follow a few of those accounts because I think it's cool.
You should get one, and then you do
But
your
I ain't trying
little.
to drown because
You can't swim.
mermaids can mermaids can swim underwater and breathe. Yeah, I
You
can swim, but
oh
can you imagine some type of accident happening and my behind being stuck with some type of fin and whoop, 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 under the water? What if it gets snagged? Does it have an emergency
well,
release in there? Like,
I mean, that's a
they
yeah.
really
should
good
make
question.
they should make it like basketball breakaway pants that just
Okay,
come apart if you need
Yeah.
to.
breakaway tail, because I ain't finna get stuck in no crack.
Breakaway. You should invent that if it's not there already.
Well, I already got the butt
A
pads because
breakaway
if
tail.
I'm gonna be a mermaid, my tail is gonna be
Are you gonna be a
on point.
mermaid with the butt pads on?
Yep, silicone based, so they float in water.
Oh my gosh. Mermaid BBL.
God. I don't think your coconuts are gonna be big enough. The bra is gonna be big enough for your coconuts. Gonna be big enough for your coconuts, honey.
No, they not. I'm gonna need a couple of coconuts just go around. It'll be a coconut cluster.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
What's more
One.
cluster than
Might need some seaweed help.
helper.
Help or kelp. Help.
I was thinking maybe like Cleopatra.
Mm.
She came to mind.
I like it.
I just like
like the
being
her
catered
vibe and stuff.
to or maybe somebody like Marilyn Monroe or like a Dorothy Dandridge, kind of like a pinup-y,
Oh,
cute, kind of
okay.
like in the limelight, kind of like. Um, okay, so this is a little same stretched of a topic, right? Have you guys ever felt like deja vu, like you've done this before in a
Yes.
former life?
Not
Or
in a
I
former
don't know
life, but
about
I've
former
definitely
life.
had some deja vu where I'm like, I could have sworn this exact moment happened and
Yeah.
I
has
did the
happened
exact
already?
same thing.
Or do you just feel like sometimes you're not in the right, or like you've been here before and done something differently? Or
I don't know. Like I've heard people say that before. I don't know if I've felt it. I don't know.
100%.
I mean, so a few years ago I actually did a podcast interview with a young lady who did like past life regression type stuff,
Interesting.
where um and she says that she's come back like several times, like, reincarnated as a bug this time, you know what I mean, reincarnated as I'm Jessica this time I come around. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Or something like that. So it just feels like sometimes that I'm like, all right,
You feel like
I
you've
feel
been here
like
before?
I've been here as a different life before. Like, you've ever heard the expression like, well, damn, I'm such a, maybe in a former life I was da 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 da. You know what I mean? Kind of thing.
Or like that kid has an old spirit or old soul, like
Yeah,
he
like
been
they
here
came to
before.
a different
Yeah,
dimension.
yes. Kind of like something as, yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I get that feeling like I've been here before. Like, I see flashes of myself doing other stuff. And I don't know if it's my mind telling me stuff that I'm subconsciously thinking of that, like, I want to happen or I want to do, or if it's me seeing myself as I've been here before, like, or I've done something else in a different life when I was here before. I don't know. Does that
I've
make
never
sense?
delved too much into the topic. I mean, it's not something that I don't believe in being here before, but
Right.
I've never delved too much into the topic to look into that and or
Right.
talk to anybody who felt like that before. I mean, I've definitely had some deja vu moments,
Yeah. Yeah, we're
but
like, I know that I've replayed this exact situation and I could tell you what you're about to say.
I felt like
Like,
my second marriage was a deja vu.
Oh, Kealah,
or
Kealah.
Groundhog Day.
Literally. I was like, I feel like
Again?
we've been here before down at this courthouse filing for divorce.
What's happening? What is going on here? Do, 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 do,
Oh,
Girl,
do.
no.
definitely a Twilight Zone.
I don't know, Jess. Have you ever felt anything like that?
Um, I mean, sometimes I'm like, am I in the right time? But I don't know if
Right,
you felt
right,
like that's just because
right.
I'm old acting. But I don't know. I've never thought about reincarnation or
I mean, it's
anything
not
like
like
that.
I'm big into that or don't like nothing like
Yeah,
that. It's just a thought
like
that
it's just a
sometimes
thought.
like,
Yeah, but
Hmm.
I've definitely like deja vu. Yeah, for sure. I get that a lot.
really?
Yeah, but it'll be like times when it'd be basic stuff. It don't be nothing special. Cause I remember it was years ago, my dad was like telling me this story and we've
Right,
talked about it before, but he was
right,
telling me the story in a different way. But I sat there and it's just like, wait a minute. I was sitting here and you were sitting over there and you were
right.
saying this
We've
and
talked about this, but right, right.
yeah.
And I wonder, sometimes I wonder if we dream about stuff and it
Huh.
seems, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
when maybe
We want it to happen so much or something, maybe.
maybe, I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
sometimes I dream about stuff that seems real. And then if it
Mm.
does happen in real life, it's like, wait a second. I don't know.
But
Yeah.
how
It's an
do you
interesting
have that?
topic.
But how does it happen the exact same way? That's the thing that is so.
Or it could be the feeling.
Mm,
Yeah, that could be it.
It
I
could
that
don't
be the
could
know.
be it.
That's
feeling.
interesting though.
Like, because, it's mostly every time I've had a deja vu moment, it's always the feeling like, I've done this. I feel like I've done this before. All right. You know what I mean? Like,
I
Hmm.
can actually recount conversations sometimes, though. Like,
mhm,
it'll be something that somebody says. Nothing with me about like a place or I'm somewhere. It's always something somebody says, and I'm like, "You've
mhm,
told me that before, and it happened like this, and then I said this, and then I said, and we were sitting here, and that plant was right there. Like, it was,
mhm.
like,
Very
it's so
vivid.
vivid. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do 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 do
I've
do.
seen things where some
Okay.
people
That's the
say that
Twilight Zone of this episode.
I've seen people say stuff where it's like they had similar experiences to like a relative or
Oh,
like an
really?
ancestor or something. Like maybe their grandmother dealt with something and then they're kind of feeling it and they feel like they're getting the energy, off of them or people who have
Mm.
passed. I
Right,
don't know.
right,
It
right.
could be different factors, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so
No, I know twins kind of do that. My husband, like, he knows when his brother's sick, and his
oh,
brother knows when
really?
he's
Oh,
sick, and they haven't
Really?
talked to each other. Yeah. Like they can
So
feel
they
when
say
something's
that
wrong with
twins
the
have that.
they can feel when something's wrong with the other one. I think that's interesting. That's a whole nother topic I would love to delve into because I'm like, pray tell, how does that occur?
Now, is
Your
it an
doctor.
identical twin or a
Yeah,
fraternal?
no, they're identical.
Can
Oh.
you tell the difference between them?
Absolutely. I know who my man is.
I just asked. I just
No, people
asked.
ask me that a lot. That's why I'm like, no, absolutely. I know who mine is.
Was it hard at first or
They're
was
not
it?
mirror twins, though. Like,
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
mirror
Mhm.
twins, I think everything is like the same.
Right.
But they have their differences. But now if when they get far away and I'm like this, like
Right.
then
Right.
it becomes hard for me to tell which one's who. I'm like, because that's
Mm.
happened. I was like, oh, I thought that was on there's some pictures that I thought it was my husband and it wasn't. It was his brother.
I wonder if twins really do play that game though, of like, I'm gonna pretend I'm you and you pretend I'm
Oh, they
me, and
absolutely do. Absolutely do. I can tell you that for a certainty. Now, it's funny because people will come up to my husband all the time and talk to him. As him and his brother know a lot of people. So
right.
people will come up to him, he'll start talking to them, holding a conversation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we walk away, and I'm like, who is that guy? He's like, I have no idea. They
I
probably
don't
know my
know.
brother. And I'm like, yeah. He was like, I just get tired. He's like, at this age, I'm tired of explaining it. Like, so I just go along
You're
with it.
probably thinking of my brother,
Yeah.
not me. You're the
Yeah, no,
wrong,
because he used
wrong
to tell him,
Jay.
no, no, no. I'm not him. And but
Oh,
now he's just like, whatever. Now he just plays along.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, man, how you been? How's the family? Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I'm done with
Yeah.
you. I'm done.
People do that though. I'm not even a twin, and people do me like that. Because I had
really?
somebody, because my my older two, yeah, well, my oldest sister, she was born in Wisconsin, and
Mm,
so I was at a banquet, and they was like, you miss Racine?" I was like, "No." Like I wasn't catching what they were saying at first, but it's because she thought she was me. I'm like, we look alike,
right,
but or some
right.
people like, oh, how like they used to be, how's your husband before my dad died? I'm like, I'm not my
Like,
like, what are you talking about?
I do. I've
Mhm.
had people do that with me and one of my other friends. We both have dreads. We both have big smiles, big eyes, like,
right,
and
right.
we're kind of the same skin color and they confuse us all the time, but we're 6 years apart. I'm
Mm,
6 years older.
mm.
So I'm
Mhm.
like, if I look 6 years younger, I'm like, hey,
I'm
why
gonna
not?
take it.
I'm gonna
Oh,
take
what?
it.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
They're
You
like, are you
who?
good? I'm like,
Who you
no.
think I am? Oh, yeah, I'm her. Thank you.
Ah,
No, but other than that, I don't know if I necessarily want to be anybody in particular. I think I just would like to go back in like maybe like a little time machine that I can control and just go
I would love to
check
have
little
a time
different time
machine.
periods and maybe but I want to be but okay, you guys are kind of young. But Jessica, you ain't gonna know shit about this. But because you're always like, huh, what is it? No, Quantum Leap. Do
Oh, I
you know
love
that
Quantum
show?
League. Oh,
Do you know
absolutely.
that show,
Scott
Jessica?
Bakula.
I've heard of it. I've
You've
watched the
heard of it.
reruns
Okay.
on Me
I
TV.
prefer the Scott Bakula
Yes, on
version versus the
WeTV. You
new
got
one.
it.
Yes. Yeah. Me and my husband, we sit and watch that,
Yes. Now, I don't particularly care for Scott Bakula. He's kind of irritating, but I like the idea that he can infiltrate. So basically, just this guy, Scott Bakula is the actor. He goes back into different time periods in the appearance of somebody from that time period.
Now,
But
did you
he
see the one
goes
where he became
there.
that black man?
He might be a black man. He could be an Asian woman. He could be a little old white
Is that
babushka.
like
Like,
Doctor Who or?
no, because with Doctor Who, he's still always himself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
This
okay.
is him assuming. So he's a white guy. The actor is a white guy, but he will go back in time, and when he looks in the mirror, he'll look like a black Jessica from Mississippi. Like, you won't be like,
Oh, okay.
everybody else
Won't
sees
know.
him as somebody from their
So he
world, their
really
time
has
period.
to play the part of the person
Right.
that he
Oh,
has
okay.
He could be like
leaped it,
old jet
leapt
blues singer or
into.
something. Yes, he could be an old blues singer, and he got to play the part of singing and guitaring and right. But I
Mhm.
like the way that he can actually jump in and out of time periods like that and
Mhm.
assimilate kind of like, that's what I think is super cool. That's what I
No, I'm
like.
selfish. If I get a time machine, I'm just fixing my own life. There's a
So you
couple
gonna
of
go back
there's
and
This is
like erase
there's
Ayala
a couple of
Van
the
mistakes
Zant.
I'd
marriages or
like to
something?
fix.
So you're doing some Ayala Van Zant and going, but you going back. Fix my life.
And yeah. Mhm. I'm fixing a couple of things, couple of mistakes I made along the way.
Yeah, but if you fix those mistakes, it wouldn't have led you to where you're at now.
Maybe.
If you fix the mistakes of past husbands and past this and past, I mean, I'm just saying, if
There's
I
definitely a few of those I would have fixed.
right, but if I fix like getting into it or even meeting like Jessica's biological Jack sperm donor, his little sperm donor crop dust himself, you know what I mean? Then I wouldn't have
Wait,
had
you're Jessica, right?
not your Jessica, my Jessica. Not your Jessica. I'm sorry. I'm
Because
sorry.
at
I
first I
had
was
a
like,
Jessica too. I know I know Jessica. I know I know Jessica. You know, you
Wow,
weren't out there crop
this
dusting, girl.
episode
I'm
just
sorry,
took a
Jesse.
whole new turn.
I mean, our Jessica, she was not out there crop dusting. You can't get close to her with a 10-foot pole, y'all. Like, she won't even let you nowhere near
This
her.
tea just got real hot. Burnt my tongue.
But if I did that, I would have never had, you know what I mean? So I'm like,
Well,
some
I mean, I definitely
things.
wouldn't change any of my kids. I love my babies, but there are some things that I would have done, in my early 20s as opposed to what I did do. So, yeah.
I think I maybe would have done something different for college, for school, maybe chose a different, maybe like career path as my big girl job initially. Um, or when I went into the service, don't go in as enlisted and actually just bite the bullet and go in as a commissioned officer, which I had
Mm-hmm.
already qualified for, stuff like that. But
Mm-hmm.
as far as like meeting certain people or specifically doing, you know, certain jobs or being in certain places, I'll probably still stay the same. Yeah.
Now, I would like to be those kids in the Narnia books.
And
On a
step through
great
the
adventure.
wardrobe.
They went on an
I really
adventure.
like that movie though,
I
which
like
is
both.
yeah, Lion
And
the Witch in the Wardrobe. Yeah, I love
yeah,
it. Yeah.
but I really would have wanted to be those kids because they went on a great adventure. That was an adventure of a lifetime. And have you seen the movie before, Jessica?
yeah, I read the book
Okay.
too.
Oh,
I was like,
excuse us. Usually we got to break
Because
it
that
down.
came
I
out, because
know.
I
Jessica's looking
specifically,
like, yeah,
I
I've seen it.
remember that movie came out when I was in
Don't
like the
start.
third grade, I think. No, I wasn't in third grade, I was in fourth, I think.
All
But
right. So my
We're
children
hanging out.
were well, my daughter
Listen,
was already born.
and
So
on
yeah.
that episode, and on that note, I think we need to end this episode of the old
We can keep going on and on and on. Because I was about to be
because
like,
she just said she was in
yeah,
fourth grade, and I was a full-grown adult.
this sunshine is killing me, killing my camera.
well,
Just so bright and shiny on this Sunday or Wednesday or whatever damn day we taping.
whatever day it is.
Whatever day you watching it, that's what day is bright and sunny.
And on that note, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.